Hello everybody. Today just wanted to talk about your very first driving lesson and what to expect on that. Okay. First of all, the thing to remember is that it's all going to be nice and relaxed, nice and easy. There's not going to be any kind of stress or pressure involved in that, so you can relax and you can just enjoy it, and just go with the kind of flow of it, really. Okay, so it's not going to be an horrendous thing. So let's just go through the bits and pieces that will go on in your first lesson. So first of all, at the appointed time, the instructor will turn up at your door. You go, "Hello, it's me. It's driving instructor." So you'll be like, "Oh, okay, right." Open the door and say, "Hello." So you'll make your way to the car, and he'll sit in the driving seat like here, and you'll sit in the passenger seat over there. Okay, and you'll go through one or two bits and pieces. First of all, he'll want to see your provisional license, just to make sure it's you. That's a kind of legal requirement that he has to do, and he'll look at your license and he'll do this. Always do this. He'll do this. That looks nothing like you. so you go, "Oh yeah, okay." So it'll check your license, make sure it's all legal. Provisional license, that's the one you'll need. That's all you'll need to bring. And it'll also get you to read a number plate from a little way down the road, and that's usually further than you're going to need to read one actually on your driving test. Now the thing here is that if you need glasses to drive, then bring them with you. Okay, if you're unsure, if you're a glasses wearer like myself and you're unsure whether you need them to drive or not, just speak to your optician, and then you'll know. But it is illegal to drive with uncorrected vision, really. If your vision's defective, it's illegal to drive if it's been uncorrected. So if you need glasses, pop them on. So that's the first thing. So you got your license, you got your glasses on if you need them, and then what your instructor will do then is he'll drive you off to a kind of quiet area, kind of nursery area, if you like, where you can just have a nice, easy, relaxed chat about what your driving experiences are. And that's probably one of the questions he'll ask you. He'll say, "Just tell me about your driving experiences so far." Now, if you've not had any driving experiences up to that point, that's fine. That'll mean that he'll start you off as a complete beginner. But if you have had some lessons, just say, "Yeah, I've had X number of lessons," and so on and so forth. But most people haven't had any, so you'll go through all the controls and things in that way on your first lesson. Okay. So that's where your first lesson will start. You'll get to the nursery area, then you'll swap seats. So you'll come and sit here, and he'll go and sit in the passenger seat there, and that's where you'll start to go through all the controls and things that you need. So the first one of those is called DSSSM. Oh, what he'll do as well, it will probably show you something like this here. This is the booklet I use for my driving students. You can see that there. It's like a syllabus, and it tells you everything that you need to go through in order to get up to the standard for the driving test. So there's quite a lot on there, but it's a booklet, and it allows you can take that home, and it allow you to kind of keep track of your lessons as you go through them. So that's the booklet. That's a progress chart, if you like, and it'll go through first of all the cockpit drill. The first heading on that is cockpit drill, and the cockpit drill is they call it DSSSM. So D, that's doors, is D, and then seat, steering, seat belt. That's the treble S. And then the M is mirrors. So DSSSM, and it's just a way to get you to be sitting in the right place in the car, where you can see everything in front and behind, and also where you can reach all the controls comfortably and use them really comfortably as well. Okay, So just a quick point here, I'm not going to go through it, just a quick point here. The D is for doors, and he'll ask you, he'll start to talk about Dutch reach. And the Dutch reach is just a way of making sure that you're looking over your shoulder like this before you open the door and close it again, and close it again. If you look in the description, we have a video about the Dutch reach, and we have a video about all the different little things here, so you can have a look at the whole series of videos and it'll go through there. One of the questions that he might ask you though is about the Dutch reach is, why do they call it Dutch reach? Why do you think they call it that? He'll do this over. So he'll be looking that way, won't he? Why do you think it's called the Dutch reach then? And you'll be like this. You'll do this. You'll be like this. Is it because that's what they do in Holland? so he'll be like, oh blimey, I've got a clever one here. I better be careful. I better just be careful here. But that's it. So Dutch reach, it's just what they do in Holland, and it's just a way of opening the door safely, really. Okay, so that's the D, and there's the seat, the steering, the seat belt, and the mirrors. It'll go through all of that, setting all of those up for you. Again, there's a video about the mirrors, how to set the mirrors up as well, in the description box. Then once you've gone through that, he'll be like, well, that's the cockpit drill now. That's for you to remember, and that's for you to kind of, as soon as you get in the car, each time you get in, just go through your cockpit drill, just do all those little checks and make sure you're sitting in the right place. Okay, you're going to get lots and lots and lots of information on your very first driving lesson, and what I always say to people is, don't try and take it all in. Don't try and don't be a sponge. Don't soak it all up. You don't need to do that. You'll be doing these things over and over and over again, so just let it all wash over you, and then you'll take it in bit by bit, and that's how people usually do. And in the first few lessons, you'll be just kind of learning how to control the car anyway, so all of these things you'll go over and over again, so don't try and take it all in. Just let it all wash over you and you'll be fine. Keep yourself nice and relaxed. You don't have to remember it all. Okay, so that's the cockpit drill. The next thing is he'll go through the pedals, which are down there, and there's three, isn't there? There's three pedals. The one nearest the door, that's the accelerator. I won't call that the accelerator anymore. That'll be the gas from this point on. There's the gas and the brake, and then the clutch. And he'll just go through those, and he'll just explain to you first of all about what they are, about kind of what their job is, what they do, how they work, and what the kind of instructions for you will be, or how you can work them, and what the instructions will be for you to operate each of the pedals. Now the clutch is the one nearest to the passenger seat, nearest to the instructor. The clutch is the important one for you in this, because it'll start to introduce the bite point. And I think most people have kind of, you've heard that phrase before, I'm sure of that, and the bite point is just where you kind of plug the engine into the wheels. Okay, so we'll go through a long description of that, because the bite point is the kind of first thing you need to get, really. Okay, so it'll go into a long description about the bite point, so trying to get you to understand what the clutch does. Well, on today's lesson, that'll be, or on this kind of introduction lesson, your very first lesson, that'll be the kind of thing that you want to get. That'll be your aim at the end of the lesson, to know about the bite and to be able to find it. Okay, and then we'll ask you that question as well. He'll say, okay, oh, this is the instructor again. So, have you read about the bite point before? And you'll be like, yes, that's where you plug the engine into the wheels. And he'll be like, oh my god, oh my goodness, I've got a smart one here. I'm going to be very, very careful here. I better be on me game. I better be focused. But there it is. So you'll learn about the bite point, and again, it's where you plug the engine and the wheels in together, really. That's all it is. That's a basic, simple thing of the bite point. Okay, so you'll go through what the instructions are on how to use that as well. Then you'll go through the kind of the handbrake, how to use that, the gear stick and the gears, and how to use that, and the steering wheel. It'll perhaps explain to you pull-push steering. Again, guess what? There's a video about that. There's a video about all the pedals. There's a video about the Dutch reach. There's a video about the steering. There's a video about the handbrake. Just look in the description. You'll find all of those. Okay, so give those a look. Give yourself a bit of a heads up, really, a bit before you start. So that's that, and it'll go through all the controls, how they work, what they do, what their job is, kind of how you can operate them, and how and that's it, and what the instructions you'll get from him or her to operate the controls. The next thing it'll go through is perhaps the ancillary controls as well. By that I mean the kind of the indicator. Do you know, I've been doing this for like decades, and the indicator, so how to use the indicator, and maybe if it's raining, it's not raining today, you can see I've got the top off. It's not raining today, but if it's raining, it'll go through how to work the window wipers and the lights and things like that as well. So you'll get to know all of those things, in the heater. And if you're in this car, which you won't be because you're not allowed to drive this car, you'll learn how to take the top off and on as well. Okay. Now the next thing is there's a lot, like I say, there's a lot of information really on this first driving lesson. But again, not to worry, don't try and take it all in. You'll get used to it all. It'll go through how to start, how to get the car from being stopped to moving. Okay. So and it's POM, it goes like that, POM. So it's always easy things to remember it by DSSSM for the cockpit drill, POM now to get the car to move, and it's POM. So the P of the POM is prepare, and you'll prepare the car by going clutch down, palm in the gear lever into first gear. I'll explain palm in the gear lever to you, and setting the gas. And it'll explain how to set the gas as well. Okay. Then it'll say just keep your feet still, don't move your feet at all, keep everything exactly where they are, and then you'll move on to the O of the POM. And the O is the observations. So observations, it'll now introduce what a 6-point check is. Another one for you. Do you know what a 6-point check is? Yes, I know what it is. And you'll look over this shoulder, and there, that's one of the 6 points. Then in that mirror over there that you've just set up just a few moments ago, that mirror through your cockpit drill, then you'll look out in the world in front of the car, making sure it's all kind of clear and you're not going to crash into anything. And then in this mirror, in that mirror, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that mirror, and then 6 over that shoulder. And this one's always the last one, so that's always the last one to look into. To kind of that's your blind spot check, isn't it? That is, you've heard of that blind spot check. That's that blind spot check, and I'll explain what the blind spot check is all about as well. Okay, so you'll have looked all around, and then he'll say to you, well, is it all clear? What do you think? Is it okay for us? Is it safe for us to move on? Yeah. Okay, so then you go on to the M of the move, of the POM, should I say. So you've prepared, you've observed, and now you're going to move. So you're going to go, if it's a level road, you're going to take the handbrake off, and then you're going to find the bite point. If you're on a slight hill where the car might roll back, you'll find the bite point first on the clutch. You'll find the bite point first, and then you'll take the handbrake off. Okay, so it depends on what kind of on how the road is, really, on how you do that. Okay, so then once you've found that bite point, though, critical point, to keep all your feet dead still. don't move them at all. Rock solid really, and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. What that does is it allows the car to catch up with everything that you're doing, and it means that when you do start to move, you'll move smoothly off. And it might say to you, okay, now bring the clutch up another £1 coin's width, okay, and then the car will move smoothly forward. And all the stuff that you've done, everything that you've spoken about up to this point is to get now the car to move smoothly forward. Because if you can get it to move smoothly forward on your first attempt, then all the subsequent attempts will be smooth and they'll be better, and you'll build confidence. And this is a big confidence thing, driving a car, so it's all to build up that real confidence within you, to move the car, to drive the car smoothly. So that's the critical point, count to 3. Not every instructor will get you to do that, but it really helps, I promise you. So you count to 3, the car moves smoothly forward. It'll also talk about how to stop the car, which is, you know, that's quite critical, isn't it, really? So how to stop the car, and that's just MSM mirrors, signal, and then the manoeuvre part of stopping the car. And really, you'll do that maybe 2 or 3 times. If you're really good, then you'll change gear, and if you're really good as well, you'll change into the next gear, and you might do a bit of clutch control depending on how you get on. Okay, all right, so that's your first lesson. Remember not to be too anxious, because there's nothing to be anxious about. It will be all really friendly, all really relaxed, and it'll be over before you know it. You'll be back home and you'll be saying, God blimey, I've learnt loads of stuff today, and it felt like 5 minutes. Anyway, I hope it all works out for you. I'll see you in the next video, and cheers.